Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Rio855 coming with another video, another relevant after years, the series. And like I said, this is Prince week, and we're going to talk about the song Sign of the Times. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Prince eras. 1987 comes from my favorite album, and I think it's his best album of all time. You can argue with me, but this is the best album. This is the album where the critics and the musicians alike, they love it because he did everything. How many genres of music is in his album? And consciously speaking, this was a conscious album. It had everything, and the song that leads off is Sign of the Time, a conscious, more social song with a lot of social issues. And let me tell you about a little history information. Yeah, and this was just a wonderfully great album and wonderfully great song. So we're going to look into a little history about the Sign of the Time song, the lead track. This song was released on February 18th, 1987. More of a winter release. Prince is not really a winter guy as far as releasing songs. Always check the numbers. Yeah, and this was the lead single from the album, the double album Sign of the Times. Little info about this song. Before I get to the charts, this is one of Prince's 500 greatest songs of all time, or I tell you, Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time, and Prince had a lot of songs on his list. Sign of the Times is at number 304. Yes, sir. A little bit about the single. The song reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 10 on the UK singles charts, top 5 hit on the R&B charts. It just was different, and at the time, I tell you, I was in school, high school, and this song, it was something different. It referenced a lot of things that a lot of singers wasn't talking about. He was talking about what rappers wasn't even talking about at the time. Talking about being in a gang called the Disciples, how crack, toting a machine gun. This was the underground was talking about, and he was relevant in talking about this stuff, man. Disciples, I know the Disciples from my neighborhood. And Disciples was mostly in the Midwest area, so Chicago and my neck of the woods in the Midwest. So crack wasn't even scratching the surface in the neighborhood. It was there, but it was freebase, as they called it. Crack hit the next year big time in my neck of the woods. So Prince always ahead of the game. And Sign of the Times mentioned AIDS for the first time. He was talking about Hurricane Annie ripped the ceiling off the church. Man, it was biblical. Some of the things he was talking about. This song had so many references. And the length was, the edit single radio was 3 minutes 44 seconds. 12-inch single album version, 5 minutes and 2 seconds. It had a hell of a drum beat at the end. You know who was responsible for that. That's Sheila E. And this was when Prince mainly changed bands. Now you see that he still had the old band, Wendy and Lisa, and people like that, because he was making the album Dream Factory and Crystal Ball. But once he fired those guys and he regrouped with a whole new lineup, including Cat, Sheila E., people like Levi Seeger, Miko Weaver. Most of the band from the Oakland area was in Sheila E.'s band, and this was one of his best bands. They was on point and they was funky. Sheila E., one of the greatest drummers of all time, so you hear that beat in there and that guitar. Prince, man, this was an amazing song. You know, you can't go wrong with Sign of the Times. It's an amazing song. The song was constructed by Prince almost entirely on the Fairlight sampling synthesizer, which provide the primary keyboard riff and sample electronic bass sounds heard on the track. Unlike some artists, Prince did not program new sounds for this song. He simply used the stock sounds the Fairlight offered, including the famed orchestra hit towards the end of the composition. The single marked a shift from those pulled from the albums Parade and Around the World in a Day. Wow. With a spare electronic based arrangement, simple drum machine, hits and minimal stack synth patterns, yes, as well as bluesy funk rock guitar part out from the single edit of the song. The record was noticeably bluesier and more downcast, both melodically and lyrically, than other Prince previous singles, addressing various social political problems including AIDS, as I said, gangs, violence, natural disasters, hurricane, poverty, drug abuse, the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, and impending nuclear holocaust. This record showcased Prince's ability to merge classic and modern rhythm and blues characteristics into the song. A masterpiece. No video, but he had a video, but it's basically lyrics, words. But at the time, they wasn't showing his video during the 1987 era. And his performance on the MTV Awards was classic Prince. That's why he the greatest. He is the greatest. So I'm gonna sign off. This is Rio 855. Comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna leave you words with peace. God bless. Thank you. And Prince, Sign of the Times, relevant after 32 years. Relevant after 32 years. Sign of the Times. Thank you.